Yes, guys. You're locked into another episode of the Red Sea podcast, and we are here with your Liverpool Norwich preview show. Norwich rolled into town, and the Reds are buoyant after a League Cup victory against Chelsea. Kepa skying it over the bar. We're going to get into all of that. We're going to get into the Norwich preview right after this intro.
Tell the world we are Liverpool, champions of England.
We've conquered all of Europe. We're never gonna stop. From Palestine to Turkey, we've won the fucking lot. But Paisley and the Shankly, the fields of Anfield gold. We are unsupported, and we come from Liverpool.
Yes, we're back on your screens again here for another episode of the Red Sea podcast, and we have got your Norwich City preview. Guys, how are we feeling?
Very good.
Champion.
1 out of 4. 3 to go.
Yeah.
Quadruple's happening.
Listen, I hate to break it to everyone, but I did say the revenge tour, and everyone doubted me, and now it's happening.
I didn't doubt you. Yeah. Not for a second.
I never doubted you. I'm coming with the most energy for them.
No, not you. I'm talking everybody outside of these quarters. I'm talking everybody that doesn't wear red. Anybody that doesn't wear the liver bird. All doubted us. They all turn around and goes, "What revenge tour? You guys are finished. It's over." No. It's never over. It's never over. Especially when Jurgen Klopp has anything to do about it. It is never over. So, guys, obviously we're in a great mood after that lovely victory against Chelsea. And we're going to talk about that a little bit later on in the show. We're going to get to that a little bit later. But before we do, a few bits of housekeeping. Make sure you are liking and you are subscribing to everything the Red Sea podcast has. We seem like we're stuck on this little mound, this little molehill that we can't get over to get us to 600 subs. So if you're not liking and subscribing, make sure you are doing that already. You'll see it run across the bottom of your screens as well. We are on the way to 600 subscribers. We're also on Twitter, so you'll see that on the bottom of your screens as well. Make sure you head over and follow us on the Twitter as well, so you're keeping up to date with everything the Red Sea podcast has on offer. SS, let's do the pleasantries, please. Let's get into the head-to-head between Norwich and Liverpool, and I feel Luis Suarez is going to be a name which is frequently mentioned in this.
Absolutely. No, you can't get into Liverpool Norwich without mentioning Luis Suarez, can you? But it's Luis Diaz these days that seems to be turning on the
His
on
song
the
as well.
Absolutely, yeah. And there's been some good little songs going on, some nice little celebratory music as well on Sunday. But yeah, in terms of the head-to-heads, played them in February in the Premier League. Nice 3-1 victory. Mane, Salah, Diaz. It was a bit of a scare, 1-0 down. But now they turned it around. I was panicking, I'm not going to lie, but we turned it around.
You're always panicking. 3 points.
I was worried, but
I was a bit worried with you because it was having a bit of a shit show at the start. We started off with a bit of a shit show.
Yeah, I think it was 0-0 at half time, 1-0 down early second half, and then luckily the goals came to ease the pressure. But that was a nice, easy victory for us in the end. Back in September, we played them again in the League Cup third round, so we're looking to knock them out of both cups in one season. I bet they're sick of the sight of Liverpool. That was a 3-0 victory that day. Minamino and Origi getting their usual League Cup goals, and the reverse fixture in the Premier League as well, away to Norwich in August, a nice 3-0 victory as well. So we had the best of it. The last time we lost to Norwich was 1994. We've gone about 15-20 games unbeaten against them now. So it's a while. It's a while since they've done us. So more of the same, hopefully.
Well, this is the thing. I mean, and we're heading to the show. The key thing is Norwich are fighting for their lives in the Premier League. I'm sure they've got more pressing matters than an FA Cup tie with Liverpool. But the cups do provide some kind of respite for the pressures of the Premier League. I'm sure the Norwich faithful would want to go on a sustained cup run. If we beat Norwich, we head into the quarterfinals. I mean, can we honestly sit here and say, and it could be famous last words, but if Norwich were to beat us, we talk about giant killings. Could it be categorized as a giant killing? Because we are, it's like Jack and the Beanstalk, isn't it? We're huge in comparison to Norwich. Every time we go up against Norwich, they get absolutely annihilated. You just look at the head-to-heads that we discussed just then. So do we expect Norwich to get anything out of this game?
No. No. Short answer, no.
No,
They're going to get spanked.
Yeah, obviously we don't want them to get anything out of the game. Obviously, we're all sitting here thinking, Liverpool have got to get the result. But by any stretch of imagination, if we're sitting here thinking about this subjectively, do we expect Norwich to come out and give us everything? Do we expect them to come lock and loaded and give us 2 barrels? Courtney, I'll come to you.
Well, yeah, they're going to come with everything that they've got. They've got nothing to lose at the end of the day. Like, look at where they're at. They're getting relegated. There's no qualms with that. We know it's going to happen. Carabao Cup gone. This is the only chance they've got left. So they just think they know they're going to probably get pounded 3-0 or whatever. So you might as well go for it. Don't make a difference if you get pounded 6-0. You're still getting beat. You're still knocked out. So you might as well go for what you've got. And they know we're not going to play our strongest team because we don't in domestic cups. So
you put it like that, they're just fucked, aren't they? Really, but I had to say it's kind of But I just think to myself, are they going to come out with their strongest side, potentially risk injuries when they've got a relegation battle on their hands? I mean, if we look at the table, it's still all to play for. A number of teams can still get sucked into this. So
I'm hoping
well, look, I can't lie. As much as we sit here and we want to try and deny it, we were all wearing blue the other night when that penalty got fucking disallowed. But do you know what? We actually are going to talk about that in today's show. I forgot to put that on the agenda, but I do want to talk about that. And VAR, we will get onto that a little bit later on. But like I said, the table is tight. It's still all to play for. Norwich are rooted to the bottom. 26 games played. Only on 17 points, Watford on 19 points, Burnley on 21 points, Everton on 22 points, Leeds on 23 points, Brentford on 24, and Newcastle on 25. Yeah, there's still a lot of football to be played. Yeah, they could somehow conjure up the great escape. Dean Smith at the helm now, after Daniel Farker was sacked. SS. What if you're Dean Smith?
Yeah.
What are you thinking? Are you thinking I'm going there? It's the home of the League Cup champions. I love that. It's the home of the league. It's the home of the League Cup champions. It's the home of the mighty Reds, Liverpool. Are you going there to give it everything, or are you going there thinking, boys, we got a rally baton on our hands?
Yeah.
Let's just make it out there with a bit of respect. Yeah. And then just, wipe our face and go again on the weekend.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, the next 2 Premier League games for Norwich are Brentford and Leeds, and you've just mentioned those 2 in that list of relegation scramblers. So they're 2 huge games for Norwich. If they don't get anything out of those 2, they are gone.
They're gone.
So
they're gone.
Yeah, I agree. I think they're probably going to play a much rotated team against Liverpool because I don't really see the point. Even if they play their best team and Liverpool don't, they'll still lose probably. So as Dean Smith, I'm picking my battles. Cup runs are great. They've done well to get this far, but they've drawn Liverpool away, pretty much the worst draw you can get. So I'd be very surprised if they played a completely full strength. I think they'll probably play, 4 or 5 that you see week in, week out, but I think he'll rest a fair few, bearing in mind it's a midweek game as well, which is quite rare for an FA Cup round of fixtures. Normally they get their own weekend games, but I think, the midweek games, the cup games, and it's one of them that you look at and think, in the Premier League, if you're away to Man City and stuff, it's frowned upon, isn't it? If you kind of just give up and play a reserve team anyway. But in the FA Cup, when, you've got bigger fish to fry, Brentford and Leeds coming up after that as well. They've still got Burnley, they've still got Newcastle. So they've got some winnable games or games that they've got to get something from if they're going to survive. So, I'd be putting out a much changed team and saying, do you know what? It is what it is. Liverpool are probably going to win. Let's focus on the weekend.
Yeah, and I kind of agree with you. I think they'll be coming waving the white flag from kickoff. To be fair, solely because, like you said, you mentioned their up and coming games: Brentford, Leeds, Burnley, Newcastle, all in the same kind of precarious position as they are. Norwich have played 26 games in the Premier League. Newcastle have played 25. But Newcastle's fortune seems to have turned around. In the last 5 games, Newcastle have got 4 wins out of 5 with 1 draw. The stark opposite for Norwich, who have got 3 losses, 1 win and a draw. So the form table for Norwich is looking pretty ominous, and you would say the trap door is pretty much looming in regards to well they're used to it. Let's be fair. So I mean, from a Liverpool perspective, let's kind of home in on where we stand. We're coming off the back of a cup win against Chelsea, heading into this fixture. I mean, the only thing really for us to talk about is the starting lineup. Who do we think is going to start in that game? So let's start from back to front. Is Queven Callagher going to keep his place after a sensational performance in the cup? I mean, he did ride his luck a little bit at times, but made some fantastic saves. So does he retain his position in the starting lineup for this game?
Yeah,
I think so.
Yeah. I think it'd be unfair of him to miss out, especially after lifting the cup. His confidence is going to be sky high. So I think he does play him. That will give Alisson some more rest.
I think we've got a lot of games coming up. I think we've got like 5 midweek matches in a row. So Alisson is going to have a busy period of matches. So although it's rare that Kelleher plays twice in 3 days or whatever it is, it makes sense. He's the cup goalkeeper, isn't he? And we showed on Sunday why he's been trusted in that position. To even play in the final, to score the winning penalty, which we'll get onto later on in the show. He's proved that he's more than trustworthy and a miles better option than the likes of Adrian. So I think definitely he'll start. I wouldn't be surprised if he even played in all the way through the FA Cup as well. Potentially quarter-final, semi-final, because he's proved that he can do it.
I agree. So let's get to the fullback positions. Right back. What are we saying?
Gomez.
Throw Gomez, yeah. But he played shit.
You think Gomez?
He played shit when he last played. Shit.
So, look, let's
shit really.
Shit.
Let's
you can
give
tell
this...
that we're missing Trent when he's on the pitch.
Let's give this a bit.
We haven't got attacking down the right hand side.
Yeah, let's give this a bit of focus then, because I think whilst we're talking about the curious case of Joe Gomez, he's been very unlucky, and the reason why he's been unlucky is the injury. We know about the injury, and we can't really keep labouring the point. He's fit, but is he match fit? Because he's not getting the consistent amount of games. But the reason why he's not getting a consistent amount of games is Matip.
Form of the others, yeah.
I wouldn't even say necessarily it's the form of the others. I would just say
it's Canate as well.
Matip. I wouldn't. Do you know what? I wouldn't put Canate into that. At this stage, I would not put Canate into it. I would say it's Matip.
Gomez over Canate?
No. What I think is that Canate and Gomez, in my reckoning, the thought heading into, and you and I discussed this SS into the season, would have been Matip has been severely injury prone.
Yeah.
He couldn't play back-to-back games. He couldn't play back, and he's not been able to play back-to-back games for a long time. Yeah, he's not been able to play back-to-back games for a long time. For some reason, this season, he's gone to the freaking wherever, to the mountains, and sipped the elixir of life. And now my man's putting in back-to-back performances of top centre-back caliber that we know he's always had. But he's not only is he playing decent football, he's now playing decent football consistently.
I'm
having
hoping
a consistent run of games.
Thiago has that as well. I'm hoping that whatever Matip's doing is going to rub off on Thiago because he's been on form and then he gets injured, and it's like.
But this is it, and we're seeing that we saw that with Matip. So I would have thought that they were looking at it going, do you know what, Verge? We know he's going to be back to normal, superhuman. Yeah, boom, go. And then Canate and Gomez probably would have rotated those minutes, and then Matip would have picked up all the little bits. It's gone the other way. Like, Matip is playing fucking games, and he's doing the business, and he's scoring goals. So you can't not pick him. Do you know what I mean? So I think Joe has been incredibly unlucky. So he's only picking up those minutes in the right fullback position because lost my train of thought. What's his name's left the club? Gone to Fulham.
Nico, yeah.
Nico's gone to Fulham. So we've not got anyone else there unless you put a Millie in there.
Like you say, I mean, does Matip get a rest against Norwich, or does he go Matip and Canate with Gomez at right back, or does he think I want to rest both my centre halves for the weekend and go Milner, Gomez, Canate? It's a potential option.
or he dips into the academy and grabs a fullback out of there.
Yeah, I think Connor Bradley's probably close to
Connor
getting some minutes. Yeah,
So Connor Bradley comes in, and then you go Gomez and Canate in
yeah.
the centre back positions, and Costas comes in at left back position. So
I think
a much
it's one of
changed
them,
back
isn't it?
four.
Because yes, it's Norwich, but at the end of the day, the quadruple's on. And you don't want to do anything too silly. We looked at the Preston game where Gomez looked very, very shaky. So usually, you want to keep your centre back partnerships quite kind of low in terms of
consistency. Yeah,
yeah. You don't want to just drop in a partnership that's not played together at all. So I would probably expect one of them. I think Van Dijk's the guy that's going to miss the game completely because he played the whole extra time, etc. Matip played 90, Kanate played the extra time. So I think it'd be Matip, Gomez, and Kanate. But like you say, how serious is he going to take this one? We've just won one domestic cup. I think they'll be hungry for another one. So I don't want to go too weak.
No, I get it. But if you look at that back four, so let's say it is Bradley, Gomez, Kanate, Timikas, and Callagher. That back four plus that goalkeeper should be enough on any given day to shut Norwich out. That should be enough to shut Norwich out based on what we're seeing, and we can only look at their Premier League form. Obviously, cup games that can sometimes be different. They can spring surprises, but the goal difference is extraordinary. Like 40 plus goals. They've leaked. So you should think, and the strikers are going to get change out of that. And then if you think about the shutouts they've not had many clean sheets, Norwich. So we should also, their strikers haven't scored many goals. Excuse me. So we should have enough to keep that back four should have enough to keep them at bay. So we'll go and decide in the centre back positions and what combination of. But we're assuming we're going to see Gomez. We're assuming we're going to see Kanate in that back four. So let's dip into the midfield. And this is where I think we'll see some changes. Obviously, Thiago went off injured before he even kicked a ball in the cup final. I'm sure we'll get onto that when we discuss the cup final. So hold it for a second, SS.
Breathe.
Talk to me. Yeah, breathe. Talk to me about that midfield. Where do we think we're going to see anything? Are we going to see Curtis Jones coming? Are we going to see Ox coming? Is Keita going to play a full 90? Is Elliott going to play a full 90? Who comes into that midfield?
He usually likes a captain on the pitch, doesn't he? So if there's no Van Dijk and there's no Henderson, for me, Milner plays somewhere. So if he's not a right back, I think it could be Milner, Jones, and Ox potentially. If Milner plays at right back, then again you could see someone like Keita or Elliott come in to midfield. But Fabinho's not playing in this game. Henderson's not playing in this game. So I would expect, the usual backup brigade options in there.
Yeah, I agree.
You agree, Courtney?
Yeah, I think Millie will play more of a holding role, like a Fab role. Sit in front of the back four, more defensive.
And Jones and Ox ahead of him.
I think Jones had a good game when he last played.
Yeah, he has. And another player I'd say has been unlucky as well.
Yeah, I think he's been doing well recently. It's a shame because Thiago was on form.
Yeah.
I feel like that's who he was coming in for, and then obviously gets injured. Shock.
Do we know the extent of the injury yet?
It's fairly innocuous, and that he's going to be back in the next week or so.
It was nothing.
Broken nail.
It was a precaution. It was more of a precaution than anything. Yeah. I think. Do you know what? And this is it. I think that with players, and we'll dip a little bit more into this. I think you get to learn kind of characteristics and traits of players. So if he's got a tight hammy, another player, you might turn around and say, stretch it off and we'll give you 20 minutes and see how you get on. With him, I think it's a case of tight hammy, you need to go and get some ice, sit on that bench. You're not kicking a ball for 2 weeks. And then the whole fan base. No, I'm just saying the whole fan base then goes, he's out again. Oh my God. But I just think that they've now got to the point with him where it's like we can't. China. 100%. You just got to just protect him a little bit because the games that he does play, it's unreal. But we'll get a little bit into that. So let's talk about the front line. This is where I think obviously we're going to bring some more changes. So for me personally, I think Diaz gets a rest. because he's played a lot of football for a January signing.
Yeah.
And the way that Klopp normally likes to do things, the kid's played a lot of ball. So I think he gets a rest. I think Taki comes in. I think Origi comes in. And I don't know if you can keep Salah out of a game because he's hungry, boy.
Salah ain't touching this game.
Nah, he's hungry, man. He's hungry. So I don't know if he's not going to play some part, but I think Salah plays. Or I think Jota might come back in.
I think Jota will start.
Come back in.
Yeah, I think Jota left, Origi middle, Minamino right. Yeah, I agree with you.
I think Jota could come back in because he played some part in the cup final, obviously scoring his penalty. So that might have been like his little warm up, gearing up for this game, play some part, and then fit for the weekend.
Maybe. Yeah, I think Jota might play an hour. I don't think he'll play. I think he's bringing him back slowly. So we got half an hour, didn't he, on the weekend? I think he'll probably play an hour tomorrow, and maybe see Salah or Mane come on because I think didn't Salah play the whole extra time and everything else? So
played the full.
I think Mane was the first one to be brought off, so maybe he'll come on for Jota around the hour mark.
Good shout. So maybe Salah won't touch pitch. Courtney, what are you thinking? Anything different from that?
No, not really. But I can't see Salah starting. I can't see that.
He could play.
He doesn't want to sit on the bench, and he's after the goals, he's after the tallies. But I feel like Klopp will be like,
chill
come on now. Yeah.
Chill.
You've got plenty of time to rack them up. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. And speaking about that, SS fastest African player. He surpassed Didier Drogba now, hasn't he, in terms of goal return in the Premier League?
Absolutely.
So eventually they'll put some respect on his name, I'm sure. But we'll move on. So let's just quickly get into before we move on to the League Cup. We discussed sort of starting lineup. Let's talk about score predictions on this game because I want to cut off the Norwich so we can wax lyrical about League Cup. So start score predictions for this game. What are we thinking? SS, I'll go you first. Oh no, go on, Courtney. Go on, Courtney. Go.
Yeah,
3-0.
I was going to say the same thing. I agree.
Okay, I'm going 4. I think it'll be 4.
I was going to go 4, but then I was like,
we like 4 against Norwich.
Squad. I was like, so I'm going to go 3.
Yeah, it's one of them, isn't it? Like a lot of the team. Yes, we are Liverpool, and we've got a fantastic squad, but players like that we've mentioned haven't all played loads and loads of minutes together, so they're going to be a little bit. It's not quite the same 11 that are on form and smashing Leeds 6-0, is it? So yeah, it will still be a comfortable victory, but I don't know if we're going to get 4s and 5s. I hope we do, but yeah, I'll go 3-0.
Okay, cool. So I'm going 4. SS and Courtney are both going 3. Right, let's park that bit and get on to the meat and bones. First, we're going to get into VAR. So, a controversial decision given in the Everton-Manchester City game. Hey! A controversial decision given in the Everton-Manchester City game with the penalty, a stonewall penalty not being awarded for Rodri's blatant handball.
It's so obvious. It's so obvious.
It's despicable. I mean, I jumped on the terrace straight after the game and I was raging. I was on Football Wars with Don Hussam yesterday as well, discussing VAR, and it was a good in a Twitter space, and it was a good probably hour-long, 2-hour conversation about VAR, the state of VAR, and the state of refereeing in the Premier League. And guys, we're going to open it up in here as well. And guys in the comments as well, give us your thoughts. I think the state of refereeing in the Premier League is the worst in the world. Not Europe. It is the worst in the world. And this is why you...
Did you see the AFCON?
And again, I don't think
it was shocking.
But I don't think
to throw back out.
But it's the thing. I don't think even that's as bad. I generally don't. And the English referees are the highest paid, or amongst the highest paid in the world. Yeah, across the Premier League and the Championship, one of the two richest leagues in world football. The technology we have, the support we have, everything is in place for these guys to make the correct decision. And still, time after time after time after time after time, we're having these conversations about blatant stonewall penalty decisions in terms of a handball. That decision can have two effects. Number one, it could potentially decide the course of the title. If we're sat here in May and we're talking about a point difference in the title, or excuse me, or 3 points difference in the title race, yeah, we will look back at that decision and say that's a piss take. Yeah. If Everton are looking, and again, whilst we sit here and banter and say we want Everton to be relegated, if Everton get relegated by a point, we will sit back and say that decision was a piss take. That decision will go down in history as one of the worst refereeing decisions we have ever seen. And the fact that the head of the referees, whatever his Graham Poll, whatever his name is, took the time out to apologise to Bill Kenwright and to apologise to Frank Lampard tells you everything you need to know. But my question is an apology enough? These referees are paid £200,000 a year to ref these games. Anywhere between £100,000 and £200,000 a year these referees are paid. Is an apology enough? So SS, if you make a mistake at work and it costs, let's say it cost your company losing a contract, for example. Yeah. You're getting sacked, aren't you?
Yeah, I mean, if it's a big enough one,
you're getting sacked. You're getting shown the door, aren't you?
It's an interesting one, is it? Because it's all
so
about.
Why is it any different for referees? If you're showing competency in your day job, you get a disciplinary or you get sacked. Why is it?
I don't. Yeah, I think it would have been. I don't think you can be sacking referees because of one decision. I think what you said at the beginning is right, because it's consistency and the fact that he wasn't even called over to look at the screen. That for me is bizarre, because he's even come out and said, you know, if I was called over to the VAR and looked at that in real time, I would have given a penalty, because you know they come across, they look at the black and white. You know, tackles are decisions, but if it's hit his hand and it's on camera in the penalty area, that's black and white. That's a penalty. So he's still got to score it. You know, there's no guarantee he does, but you know, if that's the other way around, and you know, we've seen it before. I think Trent had one last season and it wasn't given, and that was for me the right decision. But the amount of flack that got for weeks and weeks and weeks, you know, oh, Liverpool get all the decisions, and you know, we've seen it this time the other way around. And I agree. If it comes down to the end of the season, we're 1 point behind Manchester City. It's going to be a big talking point for the season. And you know, I understand that in real time it's not always easy. I mean, his back's to the referee. There's no other players around him. It's just bounced up and hit him, but he has control of his hand. But for me, the fact that he's not gone over to the VAR to have a look, I can't get my head around that one.
So I hear what you're saying, and everything you said is exactly right. He's not gone over to the VAR, so he's been failed by his team, who are supposed to be feeding him the information, which are assisting him. But I cannot get away from the fact that if we at the end of the season are looking at a Manchester City title win, and we're looking at Everton relegation, like you said, this decision, people will come back to this decision. So at that point, would it be fair to say that the referee needs to be reprimanded in some way, shape, or form? I look at the decision taken in Formula One. The steward on the day that cost Lewis Hamilton the title has now paid the price with his job. Why is it any different for a match referee? If that title goes to Manchester City and Everton get relegated, why is it any different for a match referee? It shouldn't.
Do you want the actual ref getting sacked, or do you want the people looking at the VAR to be sacked?
That's what I'm saying.
Either or, whichever way the outcome of the investigation is, someone needs to have some. So there needs to be some reprimand for it, because it will stop these decisions being made.
Yeah, because you can justify it for the actual ref on the pitch, because everything happens so quickly. Like, so you have a clear view, and he's relying on the people in his ear. And if they've not given it and they've looked at it, because they will check it, because as soon as they shout, they check it. They must have checked it. They did check it, didn't they? They checked it.
No.
They didn't even check it.
No.
I thought they checked it.
No, did not even look at it. He was advised that they were they're not even looking at it. They didn't even look at it. They didn't
I
even
didn't
look
know
at it.
that. I
Yeah.
thought that we checked.
What they said was the handball doesn't matter because apparently there was an offside. Who was offside? Who was offside?
Did they look at the offside? I didn't watch
No,
the game. I was working.
no, they didn't even look at the offside. But apparently they've said there was an offside in the build-up. Who was offside? I'm still yet to fucking find out. I'm still yet to find out who was offside.
I think, you know, we've seen VAR used well at international tournaments. You know, the Euros, the World Cup. I thought it was used perfectly. So going back
Because
to what you
that's
said,
Europe. That's
yeah.
the thing.
So going back to what you said at the beginning, TF, like you say, the English referees, these are meant to be, you know, some of the best in the world, and they're not. You know, on the pitch, like Courtney said, it all happens very quickly, and the whole reason VAR was brought in was to pick up things just like this that get missed in real time. So the guy that's literally sitting in the VAR room that hasn't said to the referee, "Come and have a look at this," for me, he's not doing his job. And a bit like Michael Massey, like you mentioned in the F1, he should be in trouble.
100%. There needs to be some adjudication for this. Now, in the football wars, and again, shout out to Don Hussam because there were some great points being made in there. Do we get into a point where there's fines for referees? Because if a manager is sent off on the touchline, there's a fine. If a referee makes an incorrect decision, where's the fine? Where's the comeuppance for your slapdash approach to your job? Yes, and this is why I can't get over this, because like you say in SS, things happen in real time. The game is moving so fast. The Premier League is one of the fastest games in the world. It's end to end at times. Referees do a great job keeping up with play. You think about when the Alisson Becker ball over the top against Manchester United. You know, it's Mo Salah versus Dan James, probably two of the quickest athletes in the Premier League. The ref has kept up with play. Yeah. These refs are athletes. Yeah. So I get it. They've
some of them.
No, mate, they all do it. They all keep up with play. I don't know how they do it, and they're not gassing at the end of a game because, dude, they do. And this is where I do have some what's the word? Like I do think that refs do a great job in terms of the athleticism it takes to ref a game up and down constantly for 90 minutes. Dude, sometimes I have to do it for a kid's 9v9 game, and I'm sitting there thinking to myself,
blowing out your ass.
Yeah, I'm like, fuck this shit for a laugh. Imagine doing that for 90, in a Premier League game. Counter attack, up and down. It's mental. So they do a good. You've got to be physically fit. You got to be agile. You got to be on it all the time. So yes, I get it. Sometimes mistakes are going to happen, but isn't this why in the fuck we brought VAR in? Is this not why we brought VAR to the game? You think about the Frank Lampard World Cup goal that wasn't a goal, so they brought goal line technology in. Yeah, goal line technology now eliminates all of that bollocks. It's done its job. Yeah, we don't see any disallowed goals anymore, apart from the ref forgot to turn his fucking watch on. But we don't see it happen. It doesn't happen anymore. Yeah, if it goes in, it's fucking in. Yeah, the end of it. Right? Yeah. Surely the game has got to get to a point with all the technology that we have. You look at tennis with their Hawkeye system. It's perfect. You don't get any ambiguity. You look at cricket with their Hawkeye system. It's perfect. You get no ambiguity. You even look at rugby with the way that their on-field decisions are made. It's perfection. There's no arguing back with the referee. The time it takes to sort of decision, that is perfect. The referee's communicating and speaking his decision. Surely we have to get to a point with refereeing in this country where referees have to be mic'd up. We hear what the referee is saying, especially on the big decisions. Yeah. The referee, if he goes over to the monitor, he's making his own decision. Because every time a ref goes to the monitor, you damn near as hell know it's getting overturned. Even though it is a stone wall, it's getting overturned. Because them in a room 300 miles away has gone, listen, dude, you can't give that, because if you give that, that's going to give the title to Liverpool, and Manchester City ain't going to win the title. So we better not give that one, because otherwise people are going to start talking. We know it's happening. Yeah, we know it's happening. Let's talk about the elephant in the room. We know it's happening. Look at the reaction, right, during the Manchester City game when Tottenham scored. from the linesman. He looked at Pep and was like, dude, I tried to do everything for you, but they're just on it today. I can't help you, bro. I'm really sorry. Dude, like we did everything. Do you know what I mean?
Point. Fair point.
Something's not right here. Something is not right. That's just where I'm at.
With the money being exchanged.
I don't know what's being exchanged.
You got full conspiracy.
I don't know what it is, but something is not right.
There's always been a Liverpool agenda, isn't there? Let's be fair.
But this is it. And you look at and do you know what? You look at it, right? And referees openly say, for example, player for player, if a player's got previous, they might go a bit hardline on him. So whilst I don't like Granit Xhaka, I think he's an absolute dickhead. But at the same time, he gets a hard rap, man. If he so much blows on a player, if he so much blows on someone, the red card is flying out of pocket. He's gone. He's gone. Like, he can't get away with nothing. He cannot get away with
I think it's reputation, though, isn't it? The reputation is so hard to shake. And for some reason, Liverpool have this reputation, don't they? And everybody loves to hate us. So maybe it is hard to shake it.
But this is it. It's wrong. Like, you should not be reffing this. You should not be reffing. And this is the thing. Referees are making decisions based on previous reputations of players. So because Granit Xhaka has made a few rash challenges, anytime he gets a foot stuck in, they're like, nah, see you later, mate. You're gone. And he's like, dude, he's like, dude, I didn't even touch him. It was him. He's like, no. I saw you walk over there. It's you. You're gone. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. We talk about this as well. Howard Webb gave an interview after retiring from the game, saying that he liked to influence the course of games. He was then brought in and interviewed by the FA and was never reprimanded for his comments. Referees do some fucked up shit, guys. Just no one is ready to talk. We're not ready to have this conversation. Refs do some fucked up shit. Yeah, they want the headlines as much as Mo Salah wants the headlines. They want to be in the midst of it. Yeah, they want to be involved. And I, for one, am sick of it. I
don't get why you'd want, because if you do that and you make a shitty decision, you're going to get so much shit from the rival fans. Do you know what I mean?
Well, does it matter? Does it matter? If you're a referee, yeah, and you know you can do some fucked up shit, it's not going to cost you no money. Yeah? And guess what? Yeah, you can do some fucked up shit. It's not going to cost you no money. Yeah, yeah. You got to do some fucked up shit. If you can take some liberties within the realms of the game and probability, you're going to do some fucked up shit. That decision against Everton, whilst I stand here and hate Everton and hope to God they get relegated, yeah, that was fucked up. If that happened to me as a team, I'll be rolling to Stockley Park lock and loaded, yeah, because that is fucked up.
Yeah.
God.
I mean, I get that, and it is, and it's annoying because it's City as well. If it had been like Arsenal or some shit, I wouldn't give a fuck.
No, we don't give a fuck about it. We don't care.
Mid-table battle.
We were like, it's pretty standard. All it's deciding is Europa Conference. Don't worry about that.
Yeah.
We don't care. We don't care about that.
Look.
Oh god, guys, let's get to a couple of your comments really, really quickly. Yes, we are indeed the champions. Big up the Red Sea podcast. Diaz, what a player we've signed. I mean, yeah, what an absolute player. Like, fits the style like a glove. He's like he's always been here. I don't think Norwich will play a strong team because they'll need to concentrate on the Prem survival. Yeah, I think so too. Hold on, can we check? Have they?
They're out. They're out. They've lost in extra time.
They're just such. You know, I feel sorry for Conte. They're just a Jack and Hyde team, aren't they?
They're just shit, basically. God. That's kind of the definition.
Conte's really. Said that they're shit.
Yeah. That interview that he gave, I've never seen a manager begging so much to just get the bullet. Yeah,
please sack me so I get my pay off. Please.
He was just like, Daniel, please put me out of my misery. Yeah, like just do it. Just sack. Do you know what he's like? I'll even take the payout. Just put me out of my misery. Yeah, I can't do this. I can't work with these substandard players. Is basically what he said.
Shocking.
Yeah. Klopp will change the first 11. We have lost
games.
Oh, we've lots of games. Right. Okay. Cool. What we got here? Gomez not good enough. I think that's a bit harsh. Yes, it is. You're right.
One kiss is all it
Never
takes.
been more jealous of like a 7-year-old kid in my life. Not gonna lie. In Klopp or
So let's discuss this. Should Conte have been on the pitch? Because there's certain quarters which have said that Naby Keita shouldn't have been on the pitch. What we thinking?
I don't remember. Was there a tackle? Was there?
There was a bit of a moment. But let's talk about the Naby Keita one. Should he have got sent off for the high foot?
I don't remember that either.
Trevor Chalobah against Trevor Chalobah, foot in the groin.
yeah.
Oh, that one. Yeah. No, not at all. It was a foul. They didn't even give a foul, did they? In the end, I think they thought it was a coming together.
It was coming together. Yeah, they said
it was like rolling around on the floor doing the "don't book me" roll, wasn't he?
Yeah.
But no, it wasn't a red card. No.
But if we're looking for consistency, and we're talking about consistency,
this is an interesting one.
Yeah, if we're looking for consistency, we're talking about consistency. There should have been a red card, because how many red cards have we seen given for similar, calling it dangerous play? Mane received a similar red card for the tackle on Edison.
That was high though. I think Keita was kind of into the groin, wasn't it? So I think a yellow card would have been the right call.
But was it high though? Because that's
Mane's was in Edison's face.
Edison's face was in Mane's boot. Let's be clear. When you want to come rush,
I don't think that one should have been a red. He wasn't even looking.
No, he came rushing out to try and head the ball, but it was given a red. The same with this. It's a 50-50 ball. The ball's there to be contested the same way that Edison and Mane, the ball was to be contested.
It's not as dangerous, though.
But what makes it any different? And this is what we're talking about. What makes that different? And this is why refereeing has the issues it has, because it's so subjective. The climate of the challenge is the same. 50-50 ball. Let's talk about the facts. 50-50 ball to be contested. 2 players on the field of play rushing out to contest the ball. The only difference that I see with that is it's an outfield player versus a goalkeeper. But we all talk about how goalkeepers don't get the protection they used to get and they should be treated like outfield players. What is the difference?
Yeah, I mean, personally, I think both of them are yellow cards.
Do you know what? I would agree with you. But the fact remains is one got a red and one got nothing.
Totally agree.
The standard of refereeing in this country is fucking shit.
What about this one though? The goals, the offsides. That's what I want to get into. The disallowed goals.
Let's get into it because again, refereeing affecting. So the Virgil van Dijk one, was he on or offside?
I mean, like you said,
interfering with play, weren't it?
Yeah, because the ball goes to Mane at the back post, who's onside, gets it across to Matip, who puts it in the net, and I go crazy watching it on my telly. But
me too.
You know, they reckon that Van Dijk's sort of left boot is offside because he's holding Reece James, and they think James is going to get to Mane somehow. That's why it's disallowed. So I think it should have stood personally.
Did it go down as offside? I thought it was interfering with player just by grabbing Reece James.
Offside.
Yeah, because offside, interfering with play is offside, isn't it? It was offside because he was interfering with play.
But the thing is, though, for me, when I looked at it, I thought it looked like Reece James was grabbing him.
Yeah. I agree with you. I think it was hustle bustle. I would say they're not involved in the play. It goes to
the back post where Manny was anyway.
No, I agree. So I think it should stand. I don't think that should have been disallowed.
No chance. He's got no chance of getting near. No chance of getting.
They both got each other.
And for me personally, I think that decision, right? I think that decision has not exposed the deficiency in Reece James. Reece James likes to battle with players. He likes that physical challenge. But mate, you've gone up against Virgil van Dijk. You're going to get bodied. It's a grapple. You see it happen. Like, I mean, Courtney, you're a defender. You see it happen in games all the time. You have that physical battle. You're tugging a shirt, the dark arts, the pulling, the tussling, the jostling for position, the shithousery. Yeah, the grabbing under the armpit and stuff like that. All of that. The standing on the toes and stuff like that. You do all of that because you're trying to get that physical.
Told off for it at weekend. Shithousery, apparently.
But you do. I mean, I do it on a 7-a-side pitch. I mean, SS, you've played 7v7 with me. I'm an absolute fucking shithouse. Yeah, I'm like winding them up and getting tucked into
Yeah.
them. You know, I'm whipping
That's
balls
a better
around.
game, though, isn't it? When you wind
That's
them
what
up.
100%. That's what it is. You know, if I play a nice diagonal ball, I'm getting tucked into him, going, yeah, you fucking do that again. Come on then, and all of that shit. You're doing it. That's football. But obviously, it's up against Chelsea in the cup final. It's offside. But Chelsea were unlucky in the same way as well. Lukaku was the offside.
Well, the rules are if you can go off your arm, so that's the rules. So
that is the rules. But I sat there and I was at a wedding when I was watching it, and I was like, that's not offside.
You're not watching the wedding.
Yeah, I was at the wedding watching it on the table, and I was celebrating full on. I couldn't give a damn. I told my best mate when he picked that day to get married, I was like, it's a Liverpool Cup final, dude. I'm going to celebrate, just so you're aware. I don't care if it's the best man speech or your speech. I'm going to be celebrating. Bar? It was a free bar. We got wasted.
There you go.
But this is it.
Champagne out.
Yeah. But this is just it. You look at Lukaku. His hand was offside. He can't score with his hand. Because it'll be a handball, dude.
I don't know the bloody rules anymore.
Refs don't give handballs, so maybe you can score with his hand anyway. So it just doesn't make sense to me.
I think again, it's consistency, isn't it? Because you see these little red and blue lines being drawn, and I think you could have 5 refs draw these blue and red lines, and you get 5. You know, you could get a different
5 different decisions.
Yeah, three decisions for offside, two for onside. They seem to just make it up as they go along. They measure from different parts of the body, different parts of the arm. So again, I look at that still, and I don't think Lukaku's offside. But once the red and blue lines come across, that's the black and white, and he's offside, isn't he? Whereas you look at the Liverpool disallowed goal, Mane's onside. Yeah. With if you were to do lines. So I personally think that one should have stood. Lukaku, I think he's very, very unlucky to have that
100%. So this is, and just to close this VAR refereeing decision, it's part of the show before we move into talking the positives of the League Cup final.
Yeah.
VAR was brought in to try and eliminate human error, yeah, or reduce human error. I mean, it's a human still making the decisions. So surely
the robots in. These offside robots are coming in, aren't they?
Oh, no.
So surely this tells me that ultimately VAR is just BS because.
But I think it's one of those, it's a human error, but it's a case of, like I said, in real time, it's moving so quickly. So it gives you that chance to hone in and see it in more detail. They slow it down. They get it at different angles. So you are getting a better view of it if they actually look at it.
Because you used to say, didn't you? You'd watch a match on TV before VAR, and obviously the referee was the only guy that could make a decision. And you're sitting at home watching it on the telly, and you're seeing 6 replays, 6 different angles. And you can tell in super slow-mo, oh, that was a foul, that was not, that was offside, that wasn't. And the only person that didn't see those replays was the one guy that needed to. So VAR was now bringing these replays, let's work with Sky Sports, let's show them every angle, every possibility to get this decision right. But again, the referee is being told by someone else
right.
which ones to watch and which ones not to watch. So if there's any doubt, yes, we don't want the game stopping every 5 minutes and the referee watching it on telly, but those guys watching it on the TV need to get it right. Us 3 could sit there and look at a decision and go in super slow-mo and make the decision, because the Cater one in real time, I thought nothing of it. And then when they super slow it down, it's a yellow card. So why are VAR not bringing that up? That's against my own club. That should have been brought up as a yellow card.
So we had a lot of different opinions about the Harvey Elliott challenge when he did his ankle.
Yeah.
So I don't think it were a card.
Yeah, agreed. Same with Son, isn't it? He did one against Everton, didn't he? They kind of upgraded it to a red just because of the severity, but actually they rescinded it because it wasn't actually a foul. It's just unfortunate, similar to the Elliott one.
A big shout out to Jericho. Thank you, my guy. It's not VAR's the problem; it's the corruption that's the problem. And
it's another show, I think.
We will leave that there. We will leave that there. So let's quickly get onto the highlights of the League Cup final. So Liverpool beat Chelsea on penalties 11-10. I want to talk about the penalties because I think we've spoken about the offside decisions. We've spoken about Diaz a little bit. Let's talk about the pens. Yeah.
Yeah.
What in the fuck is Kepa doing? Like, what are you doing, bruv? Like,
why is he even on the pitch? Let's be fair.
Yeah,
Well, look,
he should not have been on the pitch. Shouldn't have made that change at all. Mendy had a great game. That save that he made was amazing. And then he's just come back from the AFCON where they've had penalty shootouts, and it's like, why would you take him off to put a shitty keeper on?
Bizarre.
So I thought about this, and my mind went back to the Tim Krul, Louis van Gaal substitution.
World Cup 14.
World Cup 14. And since then, coaches have started doing this. This seems to be like a trend amongst coaches. Yeah. And it's all about statistical play. Yeah. Statistical play. So if you look at Kepa's statistics in terms of penalty saves and ratios to penalty saves, he fares better than Mendy. So the stats man in the Chelsea camp would have said, you need to put him in goal because he's probably going to save you more based on the amount of penalties he's going to face. He has a better ratio, so let's stick him in. And that's a fact. That's a fact. You can't ignore that fact. But I do agree with you, Courtney. Mendy's stock is high. He's won the Champions League. He's basically done a European treble. Yeah. He then goes to AFCON, lifts the AFCON for the first time for Senegal. Yeah. He then comes in, he's in a final on penalties. He's then in a final with his club side. Gets to a penalty shootout. Well, they knew it, and this is the thing, they've made the change prior to that. So there was shithouse in their way to a penalty shootout. It was a tactic. It was a tactical decision to do that. Because if you've made that change prior, knowing that Kepa Mendy is a far superior goalkeeper to Kepa in open play, that tells me you were shithousing your way to a penalty to take it to penalties. You wanted to go to penalties when you made that decision. So I can see why they've done it, but it's backfired. And the reason why it's backfired is because our penalties were fucking A1. Every single one was sensational. So
I don't know about every single one.
Canate's was a bit.
Yeah.
Well, before you say that, let's rate them. This is what I want. I want to rate the penalties. So who stepped up?
I can remember all of them.
Milner's was good. That was the first one. Right in the corner, side netting.
Fabs.
Don't raise the head, guys. Children. The first one was who?
Jimmy.
Yeah, Milner's penalty. Yeah, sensational. So marks out of 10. What are we saying?
10.
Yeah.
10 out of 10. Yeah, because it hits the side netting. You know it's a good penalty when it tucks in that pocket of the side because it's so close to the post. Yeah, that the keeper doesn't want to get there. And it's interesting. My son, being a goalkeeper, said it. He's like, "That's a good penalty." And I was like, "What makes you say that?" He's like, "Because I don't want to dive there." I was like, "Why?" He goes, "Because you're gonna hit the post, Dad." He said, "If you dive for that, you're hitting the post." Yeah. He goes, "That's a great penalty." The next one up. Who was next?
That was Courtney's one. The little Panenka.
The Panenka from Fab. So what are we saying? It's the one step run up as well. It's the one step run up. 11.
I mean, to be fair, I thought it was a really good idea because Kepa comes on. You know, like we've mentioned the substitution. Yes, stats are on paper, but football's not played on paper. Mendy's probably been man of the match in that game. He's in the match. He's in the moment. Kepa's cold, and he comes on and he's like, like Joe Hart against Iceland, like, I'm just going to show everybody I'm amazing, and my head's gone. And against Fabinho, he's running up and down. Every single pen, he's walking up to the penalty spot, shithousing away. Yeah. You know, he's on the line doing his Jersey Dudek impression, and someone that's that mental isn't going to stay in the middle. They're just not. They're going to go one way or the other. And Fabinho just thinks, there we go.
Well,
so it was lovely.
You say that, but there's a lot to be said for that, right? The shithousery, because I used to do it when I played in goal. That was me. That was me. I was negging you out. I'm telling you, you're gonna miss. And even my boy does it. He'll go, "You're missing. You ain't putting it past me. And what he'll do is he'll go, "Put it right there. I dare you. I dare you put it there. I dare you."
That's the next one.
Yeah.
But this is what I'm saying. These
All right, I will.
tactics,
Yeah.
right. So these shithouse tactics, they can work because it can get inside the head of the striker. But moving on to the next penalty, yeah.
This is my favourite one of the whole lot.
This is my favorite one, and it's the shithouse look that Verge gives after. Like, listen, like it was like the way he's looking at him was like, he's like, no problem, I'm gonna put it there, and I'm gonna hit it so hard that if you do get in the way of it, you're gonna end up in the goal too. So it's best you just move out of the way. And you see Kepa, like he goes the right way. And he kind of moves his hands before because he's thinking this is gonna fuck me up. Let me just.
But he's like looking at Van Dijk like, "Oh my god, you actually did put it there!" And Jesus, like, bloody hell, I didn't expect that.
Yeah, because he's offered him He's offered him Van Dijk's right side of the goal.
Yeah,
he's off, and again, people are going, "Oh, his position is terrible." No, he's done it on purpose. It's to goad the striker into going the way, the other way, going, go on then, put it there, go on.
Yeah.
So that penalty was sublime. Again, side netting. Quality finish.
Yeah.
Quality. So that for me is my 11 out of 10. That one. Right, who was next?
He deserves one as well, 11 out of 10.
Was it Harvey Elliott next?
No, I think it was Trent next. He was in the first five, wasn't he?
Was it Trent next? Even again,
Salah was
another
fifth,
one.
wasn't he? Trent was fourth.
Another one. Side netting.
That was quality. He took it like he takes all these set pieces, didn't he? And it makes you think, could he potentially become Liverpool's penalty taker? Because he's 22, Salah's 29, Milner's 36. So could potentially become some goals from right back, couldn't it? Because he's already scoring free kicks, he's already scoring in open play, adds penalties to his game. Bloody hell. What more do you want?
Yeah. So was Elliott after Trent?
Salah was the fifth one. He always goes last.
Salah was fifth. So Salah fifth. Yeah. Again, another great penalty. What we expect from Salah.
That was probably the best one of the lot, actually. Sent the goalie the wrong way, top corner.
You think?
I don't think you can top that, can you really? Absolutely blast it, top bins, and the goalie goes the other way.
Nah, the Van Dijk one was it? The Van Dijk one was a banger.
It's the mindset though, like the mindset you must have to just be like, do you know what? Fuck you, like, I'm doing it.
Yeah,
I'm still gonna fucking get it in.
Yeah. I don't know. I know what I'm like when I take a penalty. Yeah. So what goes through my head if I'm taking a penalty is I'm not making eye contact with that goalkeeper. I'm not making eye contact with you until the last moment. And at that point, I'm going to look and peer into your soul while I place that ball the other side of you. That's me. I will wait till the last minute to strike that ball. So it's like a battle of wills. Who's gonna go first? Do you know what I mean? What are you gonna make the decision to go, or am I gonna go? So I like the Van Dijk one because it's ballsy. It's just like, I'm gonna put that there. I don't care what you think you're gonna do about it. That's going in. And if you get in the way of it, you're gonna end up in the goal too. So it's going in regardless.
Yeah, that was my fave. Definitely.
So who came after that? Was it the Elliott one after that?
Jota goes sixth. Origi goes seventh. I don't know why you think Elliott went so early. He was like one of the last ones.
I feel like he went quite early.
He was one of because he's only 18, wasn't he? I think he was only.
Yes, I remember thinking to myself, like, please God, like, score, like, don't
miss it. Like, he's the one that was like, I was thinking to myself, and this is what I want to talk about. I was like, what the gumption on the lad as well to step up, and he sent him the wrong way as well.
Hang on, skipped about 4.
No, but I'm just saying that's what you were talking about. Why do I think it's come so early? I was saying because it was a big moment, and I was panicking. Of all the players I didn't want to miss was Trent and Harvey. Those are the two I didn't want to miss. I thought, oh fuck, if Trent misses, all the banter brigade's gonna come out. Yeah, the banter brigade's gonna come out.
Every single player that went up, I was confident because the next ones you've got Jota, Origi, and Robertson. I don't see them missing, like all of them. You know, you think you've got
Robbo had me shaky.
If you get to your mom shaking, which I could not understand all that.
Robbo had me shaky, boy.
But if you get to the 6th and 7th penalty takers and they're strikers, like that shows you how good your options are.
Of course, no, I get it. So the ones that had me shaky, Trent had me shaky, not because I didn't think he could score. It was just obviously the lottery of it. If he misses it, the banter brigade comes out. Harvey Elliott because of the fact that it could have a detrimental effect on confidence if he misses it. Who else had me shaky after that? Jota, because when he stepped up, he didn't look like he fancied it, mate.
He already put us through, didn't he, in the Arsenal game? I had full confidence in him.
Yeah,
I know, but you know when you're looking at the face, he just didn't look like he fancied it. And I'm like, he don't fancy this. He don't fancy this. And I was like, please fucking score. Please. And he scored. I was like, yes. And then Konate, I was bricking it.
Yeah, that was the one. That was the one I thought this could be a problem. But the last outfield player to take one, you're thinking there's a reason.
Yeah.
I was bricking it on that one because he's something that
I think he was, to be fair. You could see him.
Yeah, and Kepa gets a good hand to it, doesn't he? But luckily, just enough power to take it through.
And humour me on this guy. Sometimes when he passes, he gives me like Sacco vibes when he passes the ball sometimes. But I don't know if that's because his legs are so long, or if it's just a lack of technique thing. But sometimes when he tries to ball out from the back, I'm like, yo, this is Sacco vibes, man. I'm like, oh, man.
I know exactly what you mean as well with his legs.
Yeah, man. And this is the thing. I was sitting there thinking to myself, oh, he stepped up. This is giving me Sacco vibes. Yeah. So, but he scored. He scored. And this is obviously the big one.
Yeah.
Callaghan, the penalty. What a fucking pen. And it was funny, right? Because again, watching it, I was at the wedding, my boy was watching it and he was texting me, my son, and he's like, Dad, you take one, you save one. You take one, you save one. Is what he said to me. He's saying, Dad, he's gonna take one, he's gonna score it, and he's gonna save it. And I was like, I fucking hope so. Stepped up, buried it. He knew what he had to do.
He used to be a striker, apparently.
Usually we're hitting hope.
He knew what he had to do.
Just hit the net. That's all you can do.
And then Kepa.
You got roof netting, you know?
And then he did. He went top bins, didn't he? And then Kepa thought he was a bad man and was like, anything you can do, I can do better. And then done the whole
kick,
and did the whole 6 points to Wigan. Forgot what sport he was playing. To be honest.
It reminded me of Ricardo in for Portugal. Do you remember that goalie, Ricardo, against England in the shootout? I think he stepped up and scored his own and then saved one, didn't he? To put them through.
Did.
But
he took his gloves off when he saved that one, didn't he? The disrespect. The disrespect. He's like, you let him doing shit. I'm taking my gloves off. The disrespect. But look, yeah, I'm not the only one that gets Sacco vibes. Yes, man, he gives me Sacco vibes.
It wasn't King Kenny, it was King Kelly this time.
It was King Kelly. Yes, I love it. It was King Kelly. Guys, I think we're at the end.
Yeah.
At the end of the show. Right. So we've obviously done the Norwich predictions. We know how that's about panning out. Before we go, can Liverpool do the quadruple? Can we do it? Can we do the quad? Can we do the quad? Is it on? Because City
it's on.
City are bricking it. City are bricking it, bro.
I can't get our fucking name out of his mouth.
City are bricking it. And this is what I said to everyone. I was like, everyone was like, oh, it's not a title race. You're not in the title race. I'm like, dude, at SS, I'm going to call you out. You were one of them. You were like, it's over. It's over. Yeah. I'm like, dude.
I thought we were too far behind.
It is not over. We are in this race. Even no, do not Courtney, I'm coming for you as well. Even in the last game. What game was it? I'm coming for you too.
That reaction.
Yeah, man. I'm coming for you too. Because the last game, do you know what? I might pull up the chat. Yeah, because the last game when we were down.
Norwich was shit. The first half.
Yeah. And you were all like, oh, it's over. We're not getting anything out of this game. I'm like, guys, just stay calm. Just stay calm.
Yeah, but it needed a reaction, didn't it? They were playing terrible.
But I didn't need to watch it because I knew it was never in doubt. I was like, guys, just stay calm.
Didn't see. If you'd been watching it, you'd have literally been like, do you know what? That is fucked.
Yeah. We were awful. First half, we were shocking.
Yeah.
And when we went 1-0 down, I was like, oh my.
It just weren't getting any better. And then
it had that 6 defeats at home in a row vibe, didn't it?
But what happened?
Yeah, but that's what we needed to see. We hadn't seen that when we made those comments. We hadn't seen it.
The mighty Liverbird roared, and we got the result. Yeah, very, very simple. Yeah. The quad for me personally, I'm sticking to my guns. I said it at the start of the season, and I'll say it again now. We're coming for fucking everything. Yeah, we are taking everything. Yeah, because it is a clapback. This is the revenge tour. We are taking everything. City, watch your back. It's your title to lose. You're in the box. You're in the box seat. It's your title to lose.
We could have to beat Manchester City in the other three, couldn't we? Directly, because we've got to beat City in the league. Realistically, I would say we could get them in the FA Cup and we could get them in the Champions League as well. I don't think anybody else is stopping us. I don't think Chelsea. I don't think there's any foreign teams that I'm particularly worried about. I think it's between us and them, and I think it could be, who stops the other one from doing a treble or doing even a quad. I think it's out of those two, Klopp v Pep.
Well, they can't do a quad now because we've got the Carabao Cup.
Well, a treble.
They can get a treble, though.
Yeah, treble. Champions League, Man City.
They ain't doing the Champions League.
No.
They ain't getting a sniff of that. They ain't getting a sniff of the Champions League. They're not getting a sniff.
No.
If I'm being realistic, the only one that I'm nervous about us not pocketing is the Prem. I think Champions League we're grabbing that. FA Cup we're grabbing that, and obviously we've already got the League Cup. The only one I'm nervous about is the Prem, because Manchester City's ability to go on these runs, these crazy back-to-back runs, and
we're on one now.
We are on one, but for me, and this is why I'm so knocked off about the Everton game. That Everton game was pivotal. Yeah, Everton deserved a point out of it, which would have pegged Manchester City back even further. Yeah, they've rode their luck. But again, if you're going to be champions, you've got to ride your luck. I mean, when we won it, I think about the Villa game with the Mane last-minute header down where the boots are. We rode our luck at times, and sometimes champions do that. To get results. This weekend's going to be a big one in terms of West Ham, and we'll do a preview show on that, I'm sure. We've got to get a result there, and they're coming off the back of a win also. So there's a lot of football to be played. There's a lot of teams for us to come up against us. It's not over yet, but I'm telling you now, ladies and gentlemen, the revenge tour is rumbling on. Let's talk about 4.
Yeah,
doesn't have the same ring, does it? Guys, we're over and we're out.